Mr. Vander Zee, I'm ready to hear from you on your cross-examination of Mr. Shapiro. Mr. Shapiro, would you mind taking the stand, please? I believe Mr. Shapiro's affidavit is found at tab 4A of the material.
I solemnly and sincerely declare and affirm that the evidence I shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Good morning, Mr. Shapiro.
Morning, Mr. Vander Zee.
Now, in support of your application, Mr. Shapiro, you have sworn an affidavit dated May 5th, 2012.
That's correct.
And that's the material that was just referred to by His Honor in the materials at the tab?
That's correct.
And when you swore that affidavit, it was your intent to be honest with the court?
Absolutely.
It wasn't your intent to mislead anybody when you swore that affidavit, as you knew it was going to be relied on from your perspective with respect to your alleged claims, correct?
I did not intend to mislead anyone. It was the absolute truth.
So you say.
Now, here, Mr. Vander Zee. I take offense with that comment.
Mr. Shapiro, I'll deal with that. Thank you. Mr. Vander Zee, stick to the script, please.
Now, your father passed away on February 12th, 2012, correct?
Yes, my dear father, yes.
And so that was just several months ago?
Yes.
And you were able to commence this litigation within several months?
By the way, I'm sorry, Your Honor, Mr. Vander Zee, just have to let you know that I have to go to Minion in a few hours from now, so I hope that this will be over, that I'll be able to go out, because I am saying Kaddish in my father's memory.
Are they paying you to be there? Are they paying you to be there? You're going on your own without getting paid?
Sorry for that interruption, Your Honor.
No problem.
Now, Mr. Shapiro, you and your sister were raised to be proud of being...
Sorry, Mr. Shapiro, your keep has just fallen off. Do you mind just grabbing that? Thank you.
I'm glad you noticed, Your Honor,
I did,
I am
yes.
wearing a keep.
Yes. It had to be dusted off, Your Honor. You and your sister were raised to be proud...
It's great at covering the bald spot. You should try it, Your Honor.
At some point, we're going to have an actual
That's an
question,
objection.
Your Honor. You and your sister were raised to be proud of being both Canadian and of your Jewish roots.
Yes.
And you went to synagogue and on high holidays, and you celebrated by having gatherings together at family meals.
Yes, we did.
And your Hebrew education continued up to the age of 13 years old.
That's right.
Your father hired a tutor to teach you to read sufficient Hebrew so that you could chant the blessing, the appropriate blessing at your bar mitzvah.
Yes.
Fair to say that your father wished to perpetuate and continue the Jewish faith and your involvement with the Jewish people as a child?
I can't comment on what his intentions were and what his motivation was, but we had those experiences, yes.
Well, sir, you indicated in your affidavit that when you got married to Miss O'Malley, that you had the option of converting, correct? She had the option of converting from Catholicism to Judaism, and similarly, you had the option of converting from Judaism to Catholicism.
I suppose that anyone
has that option. And you didn't do that, sir. You didn't do that, did you?
I did not convert to Catholicism, and neither did my wife convert to Judaism.
And in
That's
your
correct.
affidavit, sir, you go so far as to say, just as I would not give up Judaism to accommodate her. So notwithstanding that this was a person you were going to spend your entire life with, this was a person you loved, you weren't going to accommodate her by converting from your religion to another.
Janet and I had some serious discussions.
That's a yes or no answer, sir. I don't need the explanation.
Actually, Mr. Vander Zee, can you let the witness answer that, please?
Thank you. Janet and I had some serious discussions before we got married, and religion formed part of those discussions, and she and I both agreed that I would continue to practice my religion, and I would not impose upon her the ability to continue practicing her religious belief should she choose to do so.
And you made that decision on a personal vein, sir, because the continuation, the preservation of your own faith in Judaism was that important to you.
Yes, that's right.
So all those teachings and the steps that your father had taken when you were a youth continued on through you to the time when you decided to make one of the most important decisions in your life, marrying an individual and then keeping your religion in a personal regard.
My commitment to the religion remained unchanged.
Now, sir, you indicate that when you were just 17 years old, you were able to notice that in the year 2000, your father's devoutness with respect to his belief in Judaism just simply increased.
Yes.
And that he made the home kosher, he adopted some Orthodox Jewish practices, and he started to go to synagogue on a daily basis.
That's correct.
And that's correct?
That's correct.
And you believe that to be true?
Yes, I do.
And you respected his choice to do so?
Yes, I did.
And you would agree with me, sir, that the encouragement of and the preservation of the Jewish faith and of the Jewish people is a noble goal?
Yes, it's a noble goal.
You don't want to see the Jewish faith disappear over many years?
No, I wouldn't.
And indeed, that would be something that you would consider personally a disaster, given your own views with respect to your own Jewish faith?
I would be very upset if that were to occur, yes.
Now, sir, the will treats, this is what we've loosely referred to as the subject clause, the disinheritance clause. The will treats you and your sister the same, correct?
Well, subject to the discriminatory aspect of it, it treats us equally.
Well, the wording applies equally to you and your sister, correct? Your understanding? You've read the will, haven't you, sir?
Yes, I have. Yes,
Okay.
that's my understanding, that
And
it
you
would apply equally to us.
And you certainly read the will before you did your affidavit?
Yes, I did.
So you're quite familiar then with the clause, right?
Yes.
So indeed, it doesn't treat your sister and you any differently, does it?
No, it does not.
And the will was made in 2003, correct?
That's right.
You got engaged in 2011?
Yes.
That was 8 years before you got engaged?
Yes.
Now, your father also was generous with you throughout your lifetime?
Yes, he was. He was generous to both me and my sister.
Again, trying to look at it from the standpoint of just yourself. You went to private schools, summer camps, and were given the opportunity to travel by your dad?
Yes.
And you went to Columbia University in New York?
Yes, he was very proud of that.
And it was expensive to go there?
It was fairly expensive. Yes, it was.
You're not confused about that, are you?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Did my answer give you some reason to be confused?
You hesitated. You hesitated there, so I was just wondering. And your father wanted you simply to focus on your studies, correct?
He was proud of those accomplishments and encouraged me to pursue those studies, yes.
And indeed, he didn't want you to focus on having to make money while you were going to university or to have to pay for university, so he foot the whole bill, didn't he, sir?
He supported my university education, yes.
And you were happy that he did?
Absolutely. I was very appreciative of it.
And
Mr. Vander Zee, just a couple of more minutes, please.
And after doing all of that, sir, your father also gave you $250,000 in seed money to start your own business, correct?
Yes.
There was was there any issue with you receiving that amount of money? Did you say to your dad, listen, Dad, I don't want to get handouts my entire life. I'll do this on my own. I'll take a loan if I need to?
No,
Did you say that?
I was very appreciative of the gift that he was granting to me.
Now, in your affidavit, sir, and I'm getting to my last point, Your Honor. In your affidavit, sir, you indicate that, and this is in respect of paragraph 14 dealing with your decision and your wife's decision not to convert your religions. You said, we respect each other's right to believe what we believe and do not impose our customs on one another. Correct?
That's correct.
I've read it correctly. Those are your words?
Yes.
Now, that only applies as long as it doesn't apply to money, correct? So from your standpoint, it's fine for you to believe in your customs and not impose your customs on others as long as it doesn't have to do with the question of money, correct?
I don't understand the question, Mr. Vander.
Well, sir, in this paragraph, I read the sentence correctly, I believe. I'll read it again in case we didn't have an understanding on that. Paragraph 14, third line in, your words. We respect each other's right to believe what we believe and do not impose our customs on one another.
Yes.
Those are your words, right?
Yes.
So as long as the issue isn't with money, you believe that to be true. But the only reason we're here today, sir, is because you're making a moral claim or a claim for your father's money.
No, it's not. That's not correct at all, Mr. Vander Zee.
Well,
that phrase that you read in my affidavit related solely to respect, mutual respect for our respective religious beliefs. And in fact, my wife and I had a discussion that if we're fortunate enough to have children down the line, I'm going to instill in them practices of the Jewish faith, and if she chooses to instill in them and to have them experience practices of the Catholic faith, so be it. But my intention is to teach my children how to live Jewish lives.
But again, sir, you're only affirming that as it goes with respect to your religious beliefs? Because this claim is all about money, sir.
It's a matter of being treated equally. And my father was a firm believer
But
in
that's based on a moral claim, sir, correct? You're not alleging that
Well,
you
I'm
were
not a lawyer, so I can't speak about legal claims. I'll leave that to my learned counsel to do so. My father was a firm believer in the Charter of Rights that we have here in Canada and treating people without discrimination. I feel that by virtue of the clause in his will, he has discriminated against me.
Okay, I just want to take you to a paragraph because I think you may have just forgotten this. You said, our father was not financially supporting anyone immediately before his death. Janet and I, Janet being your sister, are independent and self-sufficient. Each of us has a moral claim to share in our father's estate. So this is not a claim based on anything else than a moral claim. So your suggestion, sir, that you respect everyone's views only counts when it doesn't deal with money. Isn't that correct, sir?
No, that's not correct. I believe that this is a moral claim, and I leave it to my lawyers who have advised me that there is a legal claim here as well. In swearing my affidavit, I can only speak to what I felt was my father's moral obligation. I'm not learned in the law. I don't know about what my legal rights are. That's why I've hired a very expensive team of lawyers there to represent me.
They are actually very expensive. I'd like to see that bill at the end of the day. Those are my questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Just a hearty muzzle tough to you and Ms. O'Malley. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.